In today's society, we are not paying attention to the men who are suffering in silence. And I know this video is about high value men. And why I brought up the word suffering is the men who have reached the top of their success had to go through the struggle, had to go through the phase of suffering in order to grant themselves with the level of self-awareness, mastery that got them to that next level. I want to highlight the 3 secrets I see a common trend within the men who are high value. And these aren't the types of men who have to boast this to the world, to use it as their identity. These are the men that walk in silence. These are the men who are making a difference in their family, healing past generational wounds, as well as granting themselves a life that is worth living. A man who adds value to his life first and foremost has to see value within himself and believe in his efforts. So with that being said, here are the 3 secrets I see in high value men that will make a difference in your life. The first secret of a high value man is self-awareness as well as mastery. And you can't have mastery without having the self-awareness to actually get to know you as a man, you versus you, rather than you versus the world. And when you have the you versus you mindset, you are always winning because the battle you have with the outside world is set up to actually defeat you. So when you can actually harness the awareness to look inwards, to grant yourself access to feel your emotions, and I know this isn't something that a lot of men are brought up or taught to do, and this doesn't mean you're overly attached to your emotions and you have to spend hours and hours on end in a therapist's chair. Rather, you have to be able to take on the role of being the very explorer of yourself, exploring the areas that trigger you, that take control over you, and you are no longer driving in the driver's seat of your own life. This is easier said than done. A lot of people can put on the front that they're spiritually woke, but when challenges arise, that's the test that will show you how willing you are to stand firm in your light, regardless of the darkness that is dimming it. And for a man who knows this, has access to whatever he wants to create, because there is always going to be contrast and polarity a part of this life. And if that is something that scares you, if that's something that keeps you glued to the couch and not making anything happen in your life, the reason you're depressed is because of that. It's your unwillingness to participate. And if you're in a state right now where you feel like you have no idea what your purpose is, you have no idea where to start when it comes to self-improvement, self-discovery, finding motivation internally, then this video is for you, because you don't need to have $1 million to figure this out. You don't have to be a 10 out of 10 Chad like the internet says. You need to be able to look yourself in the mirror and confront yourself, you and you, rather than the thoughts that are just echoing what other people have told you, have said to you, that you actually take on as a part of your identity. And the more fragile you are as a man, the more easily you are to break. But there is power within a person's breaking. So using whatever broken pieces you have right now, and instead of staring at them and doing nothing about it, piece it together and make art. Make yourself into an art form that is going to be remembered here on earth. And not even remembered by millions, you guys. Remembered by your family. Remembered by the people who are close to you. And give them a source of inspiration through your efforts, through your transformation, how you handle conflict, challenge, asserting yourself in a way that is coming from self-respect rather than self-depletion. Because the more you know yourself, the less influenced you are by the outside world. The second secret of a high value man is a man who can take radical self-accountability for his life, knowing that everything that has been there to get him to where he is today. And maybe you're right now not in the period of success you would like, or not having the relationships that you desire. That should not allow yourself to stop and give up on your efforts. That does not make any sense. A man who can gather his senses and use them for the betterment of creating a life that has costed him his old life is well worth it. And that actually comes, you guys, by being able to take accountability for other people's actions as well. And that's not to say you should allow disrespect. We have to learn how to state boundaries. But a man who can take ownership of what is instead of denying it. The more you deny yourself of success, of greatness, or denying yourself of what you're capable of, the thoughts you are thinking, the thoughts that are actually debilitating you from even taking new action steps forward. So what's stopping you? No, this is a great question to ask. What is stopping you from taking ownership of where you are? Whether you're lazy right now, you're still living at your parents' house, you're ashamed by it. Whether you have no money in the bank account and you keep letting yourself down by going paycheck to paycheck. Or maybe it's being scared and fearful of your past relationships, and that's limiting you from attracting a relationship of your dreams. These can all be traced back to you, no one else. Yes, you can be brought up in a poor family, but that does not make you poor. Yes, you could go through toxic relationships, but that does not make you toxic. These are all things that are just replaying old traumas to get our awareness to make a difference, to make the change. And why life does not come easy to you is because it's not supposed to. When things are easy, we don't learn. We don't build the skill sets to do it again and again. We don't develop our character in a way that is indestructible by nature. By you actually showing up for yourself, taking on whatever outside thing right now that is hard to deal with, and taking it on anyways, because what other option do you have as a man? And for the men who watch these high value men speak, and you look up to them maybe, the question I have for you is why not you? It's really easy to see other people living an extraordinary life. And we can experience that through them for a couple seconds, a couple minutes until the video's over. And then we're left with our very own deprivation of that life that we're depriving ourselves of. The third secret I want to end with is a man who knows boundaries. Not only the boundaries he has set in place with himself, but as well as his fearless nature to do so with other people. And knowing that that is a form of self-respect, honor, and creating standards of living, not only for you to live within, but also allowing room for other people. Because a lot of men, you guys, I want to just say this, struggle with being Mr. Nice Guy or people pleasing. You can snap out of being a people pleaser when you understand that being a people pleaser is allowing other people to take advantage of the lack of respect you have for yourself. And when you are a high value man, you understand your worth. You understand that time is valuable. You understand that your authenticity, your truth, is way easier to stand by than you trying to be perfect for every other person but yourself. And of course, you can never be perfect, but a people pleaser will always strive for perfection when it comes to how other people perceive them. And a man who has found the value by actually embracing the internal conflict that arises when you actually go against what other people say to you, you having a voice of your own, you're actually allowing another person to respect you by you being able to speak in a way that has honor and integrity behind your word. But this is a fear for a lot of people, is being as you are without needing to put on a mask, without needing to second guess what you say. And you can unlearn these patterns, you can unlearn these behaviors, but it takes you showing up for a new way of living, you making room for yourself in this life, and not feeling like you're wasted space, knowing that your space and your time is just as important as another person's, and you will never be able to control how another person perceives you. And that's what a man of high virtue knows. He can control how he perceives himself and therefore how he perceives the outside world. But he can't do that for another person. And he wouldn't want to. Freedom for a high value man is something that is highly, highly relevant. It's creating that internal freedom by giving up the blockages, the limitations, how that grants you more freedom in the outside world of choice, of abundance, of discernment, of being the revolution you so want to take on in your life. and standing for it by your word, standing for it by your action, and showing up in a way that people honor and want to be around. High value men, most of the times, have other people that want their time. Why? Because it's valuable to them. And therefore, other people see it in that way. So start here, you guys. Start small. And these things actually are smaller things you can do that cost $0, that you don't have to go and change your appearance for to be looked at in a way that is of high importance. You need to do that for yourself. And I hope in today's video, sharing with you these 3 secrets could give you a game plan of what you need to do with your time in order to see different results. And if you guys are wanting any one-on-one coaching with me where we can talk about similar topics like this or whatever it is you're going through, my coaching email will be linked down below, and I would love to hear from you. And if you guys don't want to miss any other videos from me, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.